Peace. I go by the name of Zulu King L1. I'm one of the co-hosts of Spears and Mike's podcast. And yesterday we did our episode to announce the passing of Afrika Bambaataa. And it was a lot of feelings, a lot of feelings to process, and I'm still processing it, and many of the brothers is processing it. Many Zulus is dealing with it in different levels. And I just wanted to come here and add on to some of my thoughts, as I continue to process this. And I want to be sure to deliver a message that is focused on healing, uplifting, and moving forward rather than, yesterday I feel like when I reviewed my video, like it was a lot of anger, disappointment, shock, and I think mainly based in anger. And today I woke up still angry, um, based on some people's responses and the energy that brothers are carrying in comments on social media. And that's why social media is dangerous. Because, back in the day, we used to be able to get in the cipher and put two brothers in the cipher, and either they talk it out, or if brothers gotta collide or whatever for a few moments to get that frustration and come to an understanding, and then after that give each other a hug. That's what it would be back in the day from our era, I'm saying, from the Zulu era in the late 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, stuff like that. What I'm saying? And 2026 violence or physical altercations is unnecessary. What can be and is necessary is respect for each other's feelings and how we're all processing this. And I say this, like, if you are mourning Africa Bambaata's death because of what he's given to hip hop, that's fine. That's your right. If you're giving, if you're sad and mourning Africa Bambaata's death based on what he contributed to the Universal Zulu Nation and Zulu and the brotherhood that, and the sisterhood, the familyhood that we all have established through his work, what I'm saying, and through his energy, that trickles down from the Black Spades and carries through Zulu, that's fine also. You know what I'm saying? You got to process this information how you feel it's best for you. And if you feel you got to express how you feel on social media, that's fine too. You know what I'm saying? Like, but just be in mind that, you know what I'm saying, um, it's our duty to stand on truth. And I feel there's three types of Zulus. There's Zulus that know the truth, there's Zulus that don't know the truth, and there's Zulus that will not accept the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it's understandable that we can be, or some people can be, in denial of the truth because it's hard to process that someone that you love can do wrong. Many of us have been in relationships where our partners may have fall short. Um, you may be in a relationship where you fell short on your responsibility to your partners. We have to stand on accountability and find a way to heal. You know what I'm saying? And accountability is hard. It's not easy. It's not easy to say, I've done wrong. For some, it's a legal matter. And when it's a legal matter, I don't expect really anybody to come forward and say, I've done wrong, you know? Um, Seeing a lot of people express their sadness, it's tough to process when you once admired somebody so greatly that you would lose your life, and you would be honored to lose your life to defend that man or defend the movement that you represent based on his work. You know what I'm saying? So I get why people are sad. I get why people are disturbed. I get why people are emotional. You know what I mean? I get it. But what I don't get is how we can't respect one another's feelings and thoughts on it. You know what I mean? To each his own. If you want to shout them out, do it. You know what I'm saying? Do it. But keep respect for one another. You know what I'm saying? Like when people told me, right, when we was building the Zulu Union and some people said, nah, I'm gonna stay UZN, I didn't look at them really no different. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe they couldn't see what some of us saw. You know what I mean? They couldn't see the bigger plan, what we were striving to do. You know, at first when we was talking about the Zulu Union, right, it took like a year for us to even get to that point because we was with the elders just going around that circle nonstop, trying to see what the plan is, and no one came up with a plan. So when we made that decision that we have to separate ourselves from Afrika Bambaataa, you know, it was a hard decision because, you know, we knew that it would cause turmoil and it would cause a divide. But sometimes you have to stand on truth and you have to make tough, difficult decisions to save what you love. And that's what we did in the Zulu Union. We saw the family that we love injured and it was beyond repair. You know what I'm saying? At that point. So when you see something, you got to build another boat. You see the ship sinking, you got to build another boat to save the crew, you know, and that's what we were striving to do. Build another boat so that we can get to the land and survive, right? The job of a Zulu is to survive in life. That's in the lessons. I've seen so many Zulus quote that verbatim nonstop for the past 29 years that I've been Zulu, and they probably been quoting that since its inception or since that was even implemented in the lessons. If the job of a Zulu is to survive in life, then why couldn't we find a way to survive as Zulus without BAM? So 10 years ago, we were worried about our loyalty, not we, but people were worried about their loyalty to Bambaataa and the loyalty to the elders and what this would be without BAM. And I was ready to embrace the fact that we learned enough from the elders to carry the mission on. We learned enough to move this forward with or without the elders. Because one thing is certain in life, right? We're all going to expire. We're all going to pass. I don't wish death or ill upon nobody. You know what I'm saying? But what I know is it's my responsibility as a Zulu king to make sure that my members are pleased, safe, and functioning properly through their channels. It's my responsibility to the people that I brought into Zulu to protect them at all times. And I stand on that. I'm never going to allow my brothers to be harmed. I'm never going to leave them vulnerable for any type of scrutiny, any type of mischiefness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to ever put brothers on a path to be embarrassed. I'll take the embarrassment before I let my brothers face that. You know what I'm saying? So this is where I'm at with it, 2026. I don't know what the plan is within the Universal Zulu Nation to move forward. That's the job of the Universal Zulu Nation to decide how they deem, you know, whatever their next movement may be. Peace to them. I think a lot of good brothers have been swept up in this chaos, in this confusion, in the negativity that surrounded the allegations and what took place. And it's caused such a disruption. And through that chaos, there cannot be order. So I don't fault people for not having a plan that's valid, solid, or successful, because it is not easy to come up with a plan to save something that possibly can't be saved. We got to come to grips with the fact that whatever took place, that's between Bam and Allah. And he will have to face that final judgment for his actions. We have to accept that there's many survivors that have come forward with their story, some seen, some unseen, some spoken, some unspoken, some whispered, some spoken loudly. We have to acknowledge their truth. Even if you don't believe that it's the truth, even if you don't wish to accept that it's the truth, you have to know that it is in the air. It's circulating around us. Like, you might not be getting rained on, but you could look in the sky and you could see the clouds. You might not see the lightning, but you hear the thunder. You hear the thunder. Don't wait for the lightning to strike. Don't wait for the lightning to strike. Get you an umbrella. And that's where we were at with the Zulu Union. We wanted to open that umbrella, seek shade, seek shelter, find a way to protect the family and move it forward. And if you feel you couldn't agree with it because you loyal to Afrika Bambaataa, you loyal to the nation, the Universal Zulu Nation, or you just don't know what the truth is and which way to move, that's all fine. But the Zulus have wasted enough time bickering, disagreeing, pointing fingers, name calling. The Zulus have done enough and wasted enough time not moving forward and coming up with a solid plan to save this. Y'all worried about the Zulu Union. Y'all worried about, oh, this brother destroyed the organization. Y'all want to blame Hassan Poppy Campbell. Y'all want to blame B Stinger. Y'all want to blame me for, they say, I started the Zulu Union. I'm not the one who started the Zulu Union. I'm one of the brothers that, you know what I'm saying, assisted. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all want to say that, I'll fall on the sword and stand firm on my truth. I was a big part of the Zulu Union, and I still am. But it's just a plan. It's just an idea that we brought into fruition to save the family. It wasn't about power, ego. It wasn't about this is ours now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Zulu, right? It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be Zulu forever. Much like many other brothers and sisters that are a part of the Universal Zulu Nation, they're going to be Zulu forever too. I respect that. Respect mine. Respect ours. You don't have to agree with everybody. You don't have to like the energy of everybody. You know what I mean? But we were once all family. Solid. Solid. Man, been at brothers' cribs and slept over. Brothers done been slept over my crib. Brothers done met each other's moms, families. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really been through the trenches together. Watch brothers die. Watch brothers go to prison. Watch brothers come home. Watch brothers leave Zulu. Watch brothers come back to Zulu. Countless ciphers and blizzards. Countless times defending the nation, putting it on the line. And then what? This is where we're at in 2026, yelling at each other, challenging each other. Where is the healing through this all? What is the plan to save this? Because there's obviously a plan that's working to destroy it. The plan is to reveal the ugly truth, speak on the ugly truth, and disregard the beauty, disregard the work, disregard the accomplishments, disregard the achievements of thousands of Zulus worldwide. That's what is at stake. All the work that people spent building this is at stake. Do we lose it all based on how we feel for Afrika Bambaataa? Love him, hate him, deny the truth, speak the truth. What is it? What's your path? Which way are you walking? Zulus are supposed to stand on truth. It's in the lessons. How many people have we heard speak on the lessons, quote the lessons verbatim? But we can't live the lessons. We can't accept the fact that a man that we once loved did wrong. A lot of us have done wrong to our own brothers in the nation, in the union. A lot of us have done things that were not honorable in the nation, in the streets. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Brothers want to have a street struggle. Brothers want to have a cold war or an active war. You know what I'm saying? What is it? What is it that brothers want to do? What more pain do the Zulus have to experience to see if this is salvageable? If we can be saved, if this can be saved, if we can move through this? How can we talk about peace, love, unity, and having fun? How can we talk about that? How can we even talk about that? How can we say that we stand on that when we ain't expressing peace? We ain't giving love. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no unity. And who is having fun? Who's having fun? Let's wake up and be real, man. Sometimes we got to hear the real. Sometimes we got to have the conversations that people don't want to have. Sometimes we have to stand firm on the truth, whether it hurts or not. Whether it hurts or not, y'all. So many of us have done so much for Zulu, more for Zulu than we've done for the name that you have, your last name. More for Zulu than we've done for our true families. How does that make sense? We put in more effort in Zulu than our jobs, our careers, our school. I remember when Zulu King Biggs used to look at me in the lunchroom, he was doing homework or studying, and I was writing gang codes for the brothers to communicate secretly. And we in college, and I'm paying 7 racks a semester at the time for a private school. You know what I'm saying? 27 years ago or whatever. Yeah, like 27 years ago, something like that. I'm writing gang codes, and I'm worried about the street struggle that the Zulus is in versus my own education. I've watched countless brothers expire in this family that I can't tell you I've met the greatest people being Zulu. Many of the greatest people I met through Zulu. So many people I watched die not knowing where this is going. We have to find a way to respect one another at the least. We have to find a way to understand the thought and the process behind what we've all done. I accept the fact that people may see me and other Zulus that started the Zulu Union as separatists. You could label me that. Because I don't want to be affiliated with or connected to anyone that's caused harm to youth, ever. That's not the way. That's not what we were taught. I also accept the fact that Bambaataa is who he is. I respect his achievements. I respect what he's done. But what sounds off the loudest is his shortcomings. And if you can't accept that or you're in denial of it, that's fine. That's on you. But if we continue to carry this name Zulu, we need to have the difficult conversations and see how it's going to move forward. And I speak, mainly just for Zulu Union. You know what I'm saying? How are we going to move forward? The UZN is going to carry on how they see fit. You know what I'm saying? This name was once respected worldwide. And I'll be honest, it's not respected anymore. People are ridiculing it, shaming it. It's been up on Zulu for 10 years when people were calling to kill a Zulu when they see him in the trains, in the streets. That was real. People were really calling for the deaths of the Zulus. And you know what? People are still calling for the death of the Zulus. And sometimes it's our own brothers that's causing for it, that want the conflict, that want the divide, that want the destruction. Y'all will put y'all energy behind making a move and getting this to violence before you take that same energy and find a way to make peace, come to an understanding, and come up with a plan to save Zulu. You know why? Because it's easy to go to the fist or the guns. It's easy. But it's not easy to accept the truth, and it's not easy to formulate the plan, execute the plan, and keep striving, even if it isn't smooth, even if it's a bumpy ride, even if you got to go through hell. I've given enough time and energy for this, and I would not give my time and energy to be baited into a war of words, a war of fist, a war of brothers fighting and bickering, name calling, shaming. We've had enough of all of that from the public. What I'm standing on is truth, and what I'm promoting is peace. And what I'm begging the Zulus, all Zulus, is to put an emphasis on finding a plan to moving forward for the sake of what we love, for the sake of having this for years to come. Because if we don't come up with a plan, and if we don't find peace, if we don't express love, and we don't find a way to come up with that plan to save this, then it will be no more. Is that what y'all want? Is that what you all want? Y'all willing to overlook all the podcasters, the commentators ridiculing Zulu, shaming Zulu, laughing at Zulu? I don't see none of y'all in the comments of any of them people. Go fight them. Go dispute with them. Go threaten them to go face to face. Go threaten those with violence if you feel that's what you got to do. Leave the brothers that been Zulu and are still striving despite the shame, the turbulence, the ridicule, being laughed at. Those are the brothers y'all want to fight. Those are the brothers you want to call out. That shit's whack, man. Shit's whack. All the Zulus are different. Different energies, different types of people. I got love for them all. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I'm the toughest, but I'm not weak. Never been weak. And I would never exhibit weakness to anyone. I'm sturdy in my stance. And I want all the Zulus to be sturdy in their stance as we move forward. I'm challenging all Zulus to put forward peace and a plan. Peace, love, and a plan to build this back up. Don't be baited into violence with one another over who's loyal or disloyal, over who's mourning and who's not mourning, over who said something that I didn't agree with. Respect one another's thoughts and feelings. Allow people to mourn, allow people to heal. And you know what's the most important of it all? Keeping in mind the survivors that experience the worst of it all. Because, you know, like we act like we're the survivors, and we are to a degree of the madness. But there's some survivors that have dealt with the worst of it all. And we have to pray for them, think about them, and find a way to support them. That's the most important thing. It's even more important than rebuilding Zulu or reconciling or unifying or any of that talk. But again, you got to stand on truth for that. You got to stand on truth regardless of how much it hurts, regardless of how painful it is to accept that a man is just a man. He's not a hero. None of us are heroes. You either a do-gooder or someone striving to live, you know what I mean? We ain't no heroes here. Ain't no heroes, man. Ain't no heroes. I said all of this from the heart, man, and I appreciate anybody that took the time out to listen to this. And I did this out of love, you know what I'm saying? And people will probably view it, and it will probably even be received the wrong way and be seen as an attack or talking badly or talking publicly about something that's private. That's understandable. It's a private matter, but this is a community organization that's worldwide, and these messages got to be relayed. Someone got to be able to speak freely, and somebody got to make sense, because what I see online is not making sense to me, and it's not a reflection of what we were taught in the lessons and what we were taught by the elders. You know what I'm saying? So please, peace, love, and come up with a plan to move forward. I'm Zulu King L1, co-host of the Spears and Mike's podcast, founder of the Zulu Nation Chapter 25. And I say all of this with love and respect. And one last thing, I'm not going nowhere. I'm Zulu forever. And so should you, if you are a true Zulu. Peace.